Let's give them something to talk about. I see the energy running out. I got a planet to run around. Okay. You ain't do nothing but run your mouth. No, I don't.
All right, so we're going to talk about the Community Cup today on the PRs All Day podcast. I invited, JD from JD Fit, Jake, who I met at the CrossFit Games years ago. I don't know how many years ago it was, but we met there. And he owns a small CrossFit affiliate in Illinois. In what's the town? It's Loves Park, Illinois.
Yeah, you got it right this time. Usually you say Wisconsin.
I usually do, but now I figured I'd look it up so that it wasn't too bad.
Say that's where you guys met then, right?
And the reason why I invited him on, one, because we didn't have anybody else, but two, he's been bugging me to be on the podcast because he wanted to talk about the Open and list all his grievances. So we're gonna let him, this is his tryout to see if we're gonna let him if we want to let him on to bitch about the Open. How big is your affiliate, Jake?
What are we talking about? Square footage?
Yeah, square footage. Let's start with square footage.
We're about 4,000 square feet.
Okay, and then give me a ballpark on your member numbers.
We're right around, I'd say 90 to 100, kind of ebb and flow between there for the last.
And he'll text me. He'll text me all the time. So he knows that I ended up on the affiliate council. So I think he's using me as his gateway to try to leverage that. Yeah, he's trying to run
that relationship.
Run CrossFit through me vicariously in my very limited power that I have on an affiliate council that meets once a month with a couple of folks that run CrossFit.
I think you had a little more power when I first met you. You had a fancy title and everything.
Yeah, that's true. Huh?
Yeah, I did until I got fired. But anyway, we enjoy. It's good because we have really good conversations. So and I think one of the things I really like about Jake and why he's fun, he'll be fun to have on this podcast, is he doesn't pull any punches. He doesn't care how I feel about CrossFit or what my side of the story is or how I do business at a bigger gym. And we do it differently than he does, and he doesn't care. He'll just tell me right up, here's the things they need to be doing.
Very candid.
Yeah, very candid. And usually really good stuff. And then if I tell him no, that's not, he also he doesn't get all butt hurt, when we get into conversations. So so it'll be fun to have him on. He did want to talk about the Open. I did want to do the Open discussion, but because the Community Cup's coming up and they're going to announce programming pretty quickly, I thought I'd have him on and see what I wanted to even just get his take. We haven't even talked about, we haven't texted back and forth about the Community Cup at all, right?
No, I honestly, I have been just recently covering everything reading into everything. So,
okay,
as it's rapidly approaching.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because this is one of the things that, a lot of people have complained about, affiliate owners complain about, and even the affiliate council. We did get a chance to talk to Dave Castro. He was on our last affiliate council call, and where he was talking about the Community Cup. And one of the things that we suggest was that, if you do it again, when you do it again next year, because they are planning on redoing it, or keep making it kind of a perennial thing.
That's important.
Yeah, that is important.
They're going to start it. They got to keep going with it.
We told them
you can do that.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Let's see it do. Let's see it go down.
But we told them don't do it so close to Memorial Day, because Memorial Day Murph is a big deal for all affiliates.
Yeah.
We were stressed out the last 2 weeks, just kind of making sure we got everything. We're going to have food. Who's going to cook? Who's, what stuff we're going to do? Let's get as many people as we can. Here's the scaling. After all that, by the way, I had we had coaches met yesterday. And so I said, hey, thanks everybody for, Murph. We had a good showing, everything else. And one of my coaches said, well, next year or next time, she was, what you ought to do, because you were putting out so much information on Murph. One of our members asked me, what's Murph? And that I was talking about Murph the whole time, but she had no idea what it was. And she was frustrated that she didn't know what it was. And I was talking about doing it.
And it's a newer member that just hasn't been around long enough to understand the story.
That's right. And I'm hoping she doesn't watch the podcast, because I would just tell her to fucking Google it. But
she'll figure it out.
She'll figure it out.
You're doing the Murphy?
Tim Dibble gave you a great recommendation, because when you send a link for something like that, when something can be Googled, you don't actually send them the link. You send them there's this link you can send where it takes them to Google and inputs the data for them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's the great.
How it should. This is what you should be searching.
Yes, this is what so you send them a link and it clicks and it goes to Google and it types in what you want to search for and just sits there, waits for them to push it.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So, and that's why I'm not in charge of member relations. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, so the long introduction here. So we're into now it's a community cup, and I've been kind of mentioning how much have we talked about?
I've talked about it a bunch in the classes, and I think people are still unsure about how this is going to be done. Like in regards to the leaderboard goes,
yeah.
Right? Like you got 5 different divisions, and we talked a lot about that during the Open. Was it's important to do the Open if you want to do the Community Cup, because then you're going to get a ranking, which then gets translated into what level or what division you're going to compete in during the Community Cup. And
well, let's quiz Jake. Jake, do you know how the Community Cup works?
Depending on what level we're talking about. 3 workouts come out. Everybody has a different level. Certain levels get grouped together in tiers, right? And then the workout changes according to what's appropriate for that tier. And
okay, that's good. Seriously, probably 70% more than most people do, and the concept is awesome. The concept of it is really cool. It's like scaling CrossFit appropriate, so we can all do the same workout. And in more, the workout itself is more rather than a kind of radically different workout like the Open. There's more categories, and then you're only competing against that category. But just even I tried to mess with that fucking chart, and even then I was like, God, there's no easy way to explain this. Like I wanted to just make it so simple, and I tried.
I think the best way to put it is it's showing how scalable CrossFit is, right? There's 5 different divisions. So there's 5 different opportunities that they can take something like a ring muscle up and progress it down to a ring row, or even just a push-up, right? Or an incline ring push-up.
Ideally, it's what's just happening in your affiliate every day, right?
Exactly.
On a competition.
Yeah. And the other thing that's kind of cool about it is versus, when you look at the Open, it's like, okay, well, I'm ranked 50,000 out of X amount of people. You're going to get an actual level that is more comparable, that when you go to compete in the Community Cup, you're going to get a ranking with people of your peers, right? You're competing against other people that are in the same, capacity or skill level. So, and it's something that can be scaled out to maybe even in-person competitions. You can have a competition where it's only your rookie, like a rookie rumble, or your novice event. So it gives you more ability to scale some of the competition, so you got the right people competing at the right event.
So this is my own personal iteration of it. If you look to the right side, that's the most important thing, your Community Cup level. And when ideally what they would do next year is give you a CrossFit level maybe, and then also here's your Community Cup level, right? Instantly, so that everybody they instantly get that label. That would help, right? So in other words, to say, Craig, congratulations on finishing the Open. You're in level 9. You'll be competing in you're an intermediate Community Cup level. So you get both, right? And so this here shows your Community Cup level. And so if you start the best place to start is pro in the 16 to 54-year-olds. So if you're in level 9 or level 10, and those are level 10s, games athletes, and level 9 is probably semifinals athletes, you're in the pro division. And so the workout is going to be scaled to you.
The most competitive, the most challenging, high skill, heaviest loads.
Right. So if it's gymnastics, so for example, if it was gymnastics and it was ring muscle ups, you'd be doing ring muscle ups. Advanced might be doing ring muscle ups, but maybe lesser amount. And then intermediate would be doing maybe chest to bar pull ups or whatever they would have you do, right? All the way down to rookie, which would be doing maybe ring rows or something. I mean, that's kind of the concept. Jamie's got a great thing.
You want me to pull it up?
Yeah, well, let me just go through these real quick. So these are like, in their group by 2, 7, 8 is advanced, 5, 6 is intermediate. And then the age groups are fairly easy. If you're 55 and above, your level 10 is going to be in the advanced division. Although it's going to be hard because 55 and above, one thing I noticed, if the workout is advanced, is probably going to be pretty tough.
Yeah.
And if you're like, for example, 65 and older, you're going to be doing the advanced level of workout, which means advanced level weight.
Yeah.
They aren't scaling the weights by age. And then you go down to intermediate, and then you get down to the teens, and it shows you where they are. So that's kind of an easier way to understand. But most people, when they did the open, nobody knows what level they were at.
No.
You had to find your level, by the way, your own personal level. You got to go onto the CrossFit. You can go to the CrossFit Games app and get it. Or you can go log into the CrossFit Games site, and then you got to go to your competition dashboard to get it. It's not super easy. So
it'll get better with time, hopefully.
It'll get better with time.
Yeah.
Do you plan to, Jake? Do you pull up yours, Jamie? While we're doing that, I want to ask him a question.
Yeah.
Do you plan? Do you know if you're going to do a separate event, Jake, or are you going to do a program it into class?
I think this one just program into class. It's just such a easy user experience for doing that. And we always kind of have events where it requires them to show up at special times or stuff like that. I think the best part about this is you could just program into class and they get to do a fun thing right out of class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie, what's the rule with respect to judging? Because that's the other one that.
Yeah. So reading through some of the rules on that is it doesn't not require judging, right? It's judging recommended. But from a class setting, depending on what the workouts are, like time wise, length wise, and the logistics of getting something like that through class, it makes it a way easier for people to participate and program it into class since you don't have to have judges. And at the same time, this is kind of like more of an exhibition competition than it is like a qualifying round to move on. So yeah, there is the concept of being on your honor system, but it's not like there's a whole lot on the line here.
So it's 3 workouts, and you don't have to. You can submit a score without having a judge. The purists are going to be, well, that's just bullshit. Everybody's, the so and so scores fake, or they didn't go all the way down on the movements. I will tell you, the affiliate council did have a chance to look at the movements within the workouts. And the good news is that there's very little that's up for discrepancy.
That's good,
right? That's kind of my take from it. And I haven't decided. So we decided, that because of that judging, that we don't need there's not going to be tape lines, there's not going to be tape measures, there's not going to be all that bullshit
required.
They're trying to make it easy, which is old school CrossFit. That we're going to do it. That Jamie's going to program the workouts into our programming, into our daily program.
The workouts.
We were going to do like a Thursday night and then a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday. Were you planning on anything special, Jake?
We'll probably still do judges, just because I think it's great practice for the open, and it just makes it it just feels better inside of the affiliate.
Will you do it in class?
Yeah, do it in class.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what days.
Well, once you find out the workouts, it's easier to kind of plan into the days. Exactly. How are you going to run it? Like, if you are doing judges, how do you plan on doing judges? Like within a class setting, like do you guys open up the length of the class, or just kind of pick a partner?
So we're already kind of unique in that we have an hour and 15-minute long class.
That's right. Yeah.
So ours is a little bit longer anyways. I just like that we have built-in time for stretching and warm-up, rather than be like, hey, you want to stretch, show up 15 minutes early. I kind of build it into the class there with a little bit extra time. So we should have enough time, unless there's like a 30-minute AMRAP, then we're in trouble.
Yeah. How big are your classes usually?
we have a class of 15 people.
Okay.
So we don't go any bigger than that. Our main floor isn't huge, and things just start to get really tight from there. So, and that's not 8 and 7 is not hard to get them up and running pretty quickly, and then switch out.
Okay, so you'll have like one heat go and then a slight cool down period, so then that heat that just went can then turn around and judge.
Yep.
I like the idea of doing that.
I do too.
Like what we're trying to do here is, so Dave made the point on the affiliate council call of, look, the Community Cup grew out of the demand for online quarterfinals, or the fact that people were so upset about the loss of the quarterfinals.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm mixed on the loss of quarterfinals. I have a lot of members that were frustrated, they were pissed off they couldn't make quarterfinals. But from the perspective of the amount of work that we had to do in the challenge, and the challenge was always the taping, the measuring, the videotapes, everybody, having multiple judges, all of that stuff is
timing in and around classes.
Oh man, in and around classes, and then people coming in and doing it on their own, and then seeing the shit that they're doing.
How many people did we have last year that did quarterfinals? 25%. It was like what, 40 something over 40 people.
And it was a lot of work. Look, it was great for them, and they loved it. They loved doing it. But then the other thing was some of them came in, did the workouts, and then just didn't submit their scores.
Yeah. Oh, that's frustrating.
Yeah. And so as an owner, you're like, okay, wait a minute, this is what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
So I like the idea of this Community Cup. The Community Cup could be really cool. It'll be interesting to see how they recognize the winners in each category. Mm-hmm. And is there any sort of, because that's when validation becomes important, especially for and I think, the message to our community will be, look, if you're going to do well at this and you're going to submit your scores, just have someone hold you accountable.
Yeah.
And then we're getting back to your point. It preps them for Jamie. It preps them for the Open next year.
Yeah.
And getting used to that process.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I like to do. Like whenever we do like a workout like Fran in class, something that's like a short and fast workout as a standalone workout, is breaking it up, or like Fight Gone Bad, right? Like breaking it up so that way one person can just go ham on the workout and not have to think about keeping track of reps.
Oh, that's right. That's the other part, right?
So like something like that, like the more we do sprinkle that in throughout the year, I think that's a good point. It gets more people prepared for when it really does matter.
Well, especially if they do something where there's, a rest period or multiple intervals. But like, remember the Fran one where like you had to finish in a certain amount of time and then you could continue on.
Yeah.
Like that's
3-minute intervals.
Yeah. You don't want to think. And the other thing is you don't want to have to, like, if there's anything where you got to change weights, you don't want to have to be like, oh, what,
misloaded barbell.
So I guess that's good. I think that's what we will do too. That helps me.
That makes sense.
I can't let Jake do something better than we do.
Yeah, it just makes it, like you said, their only thought is to work out, and the other person can count and judge, and everybody gets a judge, and it just makes it kind of feel level across the board. And then my coaches, it's their job to walk around and head judge, and keep everything.
Oh, there you go.
Consistent.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think people will still come in. And the cost for the thing, is it $30?
It was $40,
which included a shirt.
The online nutrition seminar.
Oh yeah, and you get the online nutrition seminar.
And I think there was like 2 other things in there. I think.
Yeah, you get a Velit's coupon.
Oh yeah, like a $25 gift card or something like that.
Yeah, I mean it's all good. If you're an affiliate owner, by the way, you can go on to log into the affiliate toolkit, and they have a bunch of graphics there and tools
for like promotional stuff.
Yeah, for promotional stuff to help you with it. Which is kind of cool. If you go into the marketing resources, they got a whole bunch of stuff, all the graphics and everything. So they actually have plans to help you plan it out. Of course, I just found that today. So we got 2, but it doesn't start until the 9th.
9th, but they're releasing it tomorrow.
Well,
Or
so
like we'll at least have next week to see the workouts.
So on the affiliate council, that was one of the things that we said, like, it would be fun to program these classes. It's easier to program this stuff into class if we know the workouts further in advance, because some of us publish way in advance, and others said, yeah, it'd be good. I'd like the folks that do, write affiliate programming like we do for your affiliates that Jamie, that you have, that you write for, and then, Mayhem, and then other ones, it'd be good for them to have it on early, so then they could program it and include it in their programming.
That way you're not trying to stack something in there where you have conflicting movement patterns on top of each other.
Yep. They've got an affiliate. Oh man, they got posters and everything in this guide. It's pretty impressive. Show your workout, Jamie, that you created. This is a good example.
So this is the workout we've got planned for this upcoming Monday, and I wanted to kind of do something that was what I imagined we would see show up as far as how it's scaled, right? So we've got the rookie, workout, Nasty Girls, classic CrossFit workout.
What's the full RX version of Nasty
So the
Girls?
full RX version actually falls into the advanced version. So if you look at the advanced one, it's 3 rounds for time, 50 air squats, 7 ring muscle ups, and 10 hang power cleans. Now, disregard all these extra weights at the end, but the RX version is 95 pounds and 135 pounds, right? So that's the RX version of Nasty Girls.
Right.
Now, basing off of, the level ranking and what I imagine we could kind of potentially see, something like this is, rookies, the air squat, same standard. And then instead of the ring muscle ups, we're going to go into an incline ring push up, right? So we're still working a little bit of the rings. We're still working with the rings, but obviously the ring incline allows us to adjust and scale appropriately. And then a lighter weight on the hang cleans.
Yep.
And then you got novice. We're going to go straight ring push ups, just straight down. So imagine we want to kind of maintain straps straight down. And then a little heavier barbell. And then intermediate, same thing. We're going into a ring dip into.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
So we're kind of getting back into more of a support position with the full body weight.
Right.
Heavier bar again.
Yep.
And then you got the RX version, and then the Pro version. I'm using the Nasty Girls version 2.0 that they did in 2018, 17.
Yeah.
Regionals.
17 regionals.
It's 50 alternating single leg squats, 7 ring muscle ups, and then the heavier barbell. So we've got a different scale for each division, all using the same, all working towards the same workout, right? So this is just another example that, CrossFit's, infinitely scalable. And then when you look at it from a competitive standpoint, having something like this, having ranking, this could be something that we can do in an in-person competition. Right. You just have to be in the right division. And got to go through the open to get your level.
Yeah. Zoltan at CrossFit Pleasanton has been lobbying for years for a tennis style ranking
system. Yeah.
Which is what they go 1 to 5. And then within each one of those, there's a 5.1, or 5.0 is the highest, but then there's like 4. I think it goes 4.2.
I think 4.5 was the lowest.
Oh, it goes, yeah.
And then it goes up to like 8.5 or something like that.
Something like that. I'm not sure what 10, but anyway, what his was essentially is you get 4 or 5 different rings, and that way you could play against players of the same caliber. And then you can also, like this, you can scale a workout so that everybody can compete together.
Yeah.
A really good programmer can scale workouts and have a pro go head to head with a advanced or a rookie or an intermediate and come out probably in the same neighborhood, same stimulus.
Scale by degree, not by degree.
Yeah. So that's basically. So we're gonna do it. We'll do it like Jake. We'll put it in our programming.
Yeah, it's going in the programming, but I like the idea of doing a judging scenario.
I think that's the best way to do it.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there too. Once we figure out what the workouts are.
What I don't want to see is what none of us wants to see is the abusers, right? Someone puts up some wild score, and then drops a little bit of Instagram video on it, and you're like, what?
Well,
come on!
It just makes it not fun for everybody else and not bad,
right?
Wait,
her chest is not hitting the ground. Inside joke.
Yeah. It's I think that's the biggest problem with some of that this
Right.
stuff is
Yep.
people start to feel jaded about it, and then
Yeah.
what's the point? I was trying to do it right, and
That's
this guy
probably
over here, whatever.
That's probably the one thing I hate hearing the most is during like the open or leading into the open is what's the point? Like,
Oh,
what
I
the
hate that.
fuck you mean by that? The
Yeah.
point is to test yourself and put yourself out there. That's the point.
That's a great statement. That really is, and I get it. There's, Jake, this is good. This is a great conversation for you. What, like, of your members, like, how many are there just to come and hang out with the friends and get a decent workout in? What percentage of your members are that, and what percentage are really kind of focused on like, this is going to improve the quality of life, and I'm all in. I want to measure my results and see if I get better.
Oh man, 75 to 90% there to hang out with friends, right?
Yeah.
I would say. I mean, it's hard to separate.
Mm-hmm. Kind of depends on the workout, huh?
What would you say Diablo is? I think well, that's true too. No shit.
you got your the long run burf, like I'm all in, and then you got the heavy lifter, like nah, fuck that.
Right. Yeah, I'm just here to have fun.
30-minute AMRAP, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
Right. Heavy deadlift day. There's like 5 bros, a couple girls that come in. They're like, oh man, I'm gonna crush this today. This is all I'm all about. This, and they ring the bell, the PR bell at the end. I mean, that's human nature, I guess. But I think we're probably not too. I think
it varies too.
I think we're about the same too. Though I think 70% of the members that are coming in here, like, this is their getaway from all the bullshit that they got to go through in daily life, and they know it's going to make them feel so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and the side benefit is they look better, right? And they can do more stuff.
Yeah, I was just going to say the best part about it is they don't have to choose; they get both, regardless of the reason why they come.
Yeah,
right. So that brings us to like things like the Open and the Community Cup, and I think that's why this is interesting because I think that's why it's a tougher sell now. Versus, how long you been doing this, Jake?
I think I've been doing this since like 2011.
Okay, so in those days, right? Because 2011 is true.
That was the first open year.
But think about it, it was the first open year. But that was when we all were the people. The person that was coming in and doing CrossFit was usually coming from somewhere else and wanted to be challenged with something hard. Mm-hmm. And they were coming to CrossFit because they knew it was hard, and it was measurable, observable, repeatable. They knew they could compete against others, so they were more likely to do the Open. And that grew to like where the Open peaked. I think the Open peaked around 2016.
Yes,
16 was the biggest number, 427,000 or something like that. But that makes sense, and because now where we are in terms of the people that are all the people that. Jeremy Jones used to say there's all the people that like want to do CrossFit have tried CrossFit at some point in time. The people now coming in are like, I need something. I've heard about CrossFit. I think this can work. My friend loves CrossFit. All my coworker, all they do is talk about CrossFit. Maybe I'll try that. They're not coming in because
it's the fourth wave.
The challenge. It's the fourth wave.
The fourth wave.
Yeah. It's interesting. And so therefore things like the Community Cup and the Open become a harder sell. What? Someone's going to watch me work out and count my reps, and then tell me when I don't do it right. Yeah,
and then I got to submit it.
Oh yeah.
Wait, is it on the push press or sugar water where I put the work?
Oh my god.
Oh no. That's the subject.
Don't even. I entered my
the struggle is real.
I entered my score on push press. It didn't show up on the games.
I mean, I got a 0. Why is there a 0?
This is one thing I did tell CrossFit. I go, you have got to figure out how to create some sort of interface, that with all of the software programs that are out there, that like when they log the score with us, it gets logged with CrossFit. There's got to be a way that can happen. The other thing is, that's the other thing. I signed up for the Open. I'm registered for Friday Night Lights. Okay, no. You got to go into the CrossFit website, And again, same thing. Like
This is when you ask, what's your CrossFit ID number?
I told, I think I actually specifically told the CEO, don't follow this. If you can figure out how my members can sign up for the Open through my software, push press, and just go click, push a button, I think the participation in the Open or payment for the Open will increase by 30 to 50%. They could just click, add it to, click a button, I'm in.
Just eliminate
like
that
signing into a
barrier to
class.
entry. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's another hurdle.
$20. Come on. Jake, no comment?
That's you got big gym problems, I have time set out of every Monday during the Open to go through everybody's scores and make sure they're submitted and text them if they don't. Just because it's not that many.
Yeah.
So, when it's only 50, 60 people, I can.
Oh, my wife does that. Yvonne does that for the 200 people that we have sign up for the Open. She'll go through them all. That's a lot. It drives her crazy. Yeah, and thank God for it. But it is. No, she'll go through them and she'll edit everybody's scores. They counted wrong. She looks down, checks
up. Your tiebreaker is off.
Yeah.
You put the wrong tiebreaker down. Yeah, she hit me for that. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Am I frozen for you guys?
No, you're
no.
Good.
It does kind of glitch a little bit here and there, but it's audio is all good.
You're good. We hear you. Just keep talking. Keep flying the plane.
Sounds good.
All right. So yes, you're in for the Community Cup.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's great. I think it's. Full disclosure, I don't expect this year to be awesome. I think there's going to be a lot of things to work out, but I think it can take place of quarterfinals and more. For everybody who's not a super hardcore competitive athlete, and like I said, by next year they could probably take care of that as well.
Mm-hmm. What about in terms of where it's located on the calendar? So June versus
timing wise,
timing wise. Do you think it would be better if we moved it closer to the Open?
The timing feels funky, but it's hard to tell. I got 2 small kids right now, so life just seems to be like coming at me at light speed, like
especially with like summertime coming.
Yeah. So I don't know if moving it closer to the Open would be good, or if moving it farther on down the line, so we're kind of like in the middle of the year, have a little bit something more to look forward to. It's hard to tell.
What if it was something that fell after the games? Like if they did it in like the fall, is that too late? I mean, I love the time that we had to kind of train and get ready for it, but
remember there's a pairs competition that they're going to do. And I think that's the one they're going to do after the games, the online pairs competition.
Okay.
And I like the idea of doing that because that's more competitive-y. What did you say? That one what?
I said that sounds like a lot. We're just trying to get used to the Community Cup right now.
Yeah, I know. Well, don't you remember they did that pairs competition though? CrossFit did the online lift off.
That was in November, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was
October, November.
That was fun. I don't know.
What about all the team series? That was always after the games too.
Yeah.
This is an unpopular opinion from what I've heard, but I actually really like when the Open was in October, just because we're in cold weather here. So we actually had like nice weather leading into the Open. And then March is like, spring break time. So you always have members out of town during that time. I loved the Open in October because it kind of just...
I can't remember why we did that. They were going to move the whole calendar, and I think it was going to give them more flexibility with the
venue.
Yeah, with the venue.
Well, the winner got to direct ticket to the games or something like that.
Yeah. Do you remember why they did it, and then they abandoned it?
That was the 2018 year.
Yeah, that was the year of the sanctional year.
Yeah.
And it just like many things in CrossFit, we just didn't have enough time for it to come to fruition. We've had I feel like we've had a ton of good ideas, and just none of them have been given enough time to flourish.
Well said. That is a common complaint, is that and you see it online. Stop the changes. We'll bitch about it and moan about it, but just like
take the feedback.
Yeah,
take the feedback and make the adjustments that you get out of the feedback, but don't cancel it.
And it's true
it.
because, but Jake's making a good point from an affiliate owner's perspective, right? I just want stability on the calendar and stability with our community, because like even communicating, about, just listen to the member that doesn't know about Murph, and that was a valid complaint. Like, Murph's at the same time. So I made a note, like next year, make sure that, you do a description of Murph before, but having it at the same time every year, like I already know that don't book anything around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing you want to be able to do with the Open, and you want to be able to do the same thing with, if there's online semifinals, you want to need to know about these things, because as affiliate owners, we got so many balls in the air with everything that we're doing. And everyone was like, well, it's just scheduling the Community Cup. What's the big deal? Well, fuck. Like I don't want to execute poorly on anything.
Yeah.
That's the best point.
Yeah.
In October, there's nothing really going on in October too. I mean, you're right. Like,
I like October actually for the Open.
March is when spring breaks, and I mean, shoot, like not every kids are on the same week for spring break, so it could vary.
Inevitably somebody is always on every week. Somebody else is on spring break, and my wife used to be a teacher. That's when, even without kids, that's when we would take a vacation, because that's when she had days off.
Yeah.
That's interesting about October, because October, everybody's home. Everybody's like, that's because the travel's going to start in November with the Thanksgiving, the holidays.
I'm sure there's people who don't like that idea. I'll probably call them
of course there are. It's like
it's also the time where most people are the sickest too, right? Right at the beginning of the year, it's all cold.
Oh yeah, February. That's a big deal.
I remember many years where I ended up down sick, missed on one of the workouts because I'm hacking up a lung or whatever the case is.
That's a big deal for the athletes, that want to qualify for the next level.
Well, that was when it was also 5 weeks.
But think about Nate.
Stay healthy for 5
weeks.
Right,
Nathan wants to
winter.
This guy's a dominant 50 to 54-year-old athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Dominant. Sick as shit for one of the workouts in the Open.
Took a huge hit
and didn't recover.
No damage control.
Yeah,
it was just game over.
And missed the semifinals as a master. It's really unfortunate, just because of one sickness at one time.
Yeah, it's kind of a crapshoot with like that.
It is. So October might be better.
But we don't get to run all winter long, like so unless you have air runners in the colder regions, right? You're not running, which some could argue I know you can do machines and stuff like that. Yeah. There is something unique.
Not the same. Yeah, it's not the same. Especially when you are trying to, like, if the Open is like your games and you're trying to peak, like you want to be able to train leading into it.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Do all of your members what percentage of not all your members? You have as many members as you can get in the Open participating in that part of the process, right? So it's a big part of your deal. And then the Community Cup, you're going to get as many as you can get at Community Cup. How many of your members, or what percentage of your members, Jake, will watch, say, the semifinals online and then and pay attention to the games?
Ooh, not a ton, surprisingly.
You give me a guesstimate. This is the number I want to know, and I'll tell you what I think ours is too.
Did you say a percentage?
Yeah, What percentage will watch the online semifinals? Let's start there.
Maybe 10%, and we actually have fun with it too. Like I programmed all the online semifinals workouts in our gym over the course of 2 weeks, but not as they like the one even the version I wrote on the board sometimes wasn't matching up with what they did. A lot of times it was partners, and I call it Games Athlete Appreciation Week.
That's cool,
because we get done and they're like, how many rounds did they get? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, and then will your athletes or will your members watch the CrossFit Games, or do any of your members go to the CrossFit Games? Yeah, so we always took up a crew depending, because Madison was only an hour away.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say, depending on where it's at.
But no, nobody's going to go to Albany. Nobody went to Fort Worth.
No, we weren't a gym at that point.
Yeah.
But before, no, none of my clients, I didn't go either to that, and I was around for that. But I would say like maybe 5% of our members watch it, and not religiously.
Maybe just,
and I'm not sure why.
I think for us, it's probably 5 to 10% will watch the semifinals.
That, and 10% might be
aggressive.
Yeah. Generous.
Yeah. I'm thinking of our members, probably 20 to 30 will watch a portion of the semifinals.
Like 20 to 30 people.
20 to 30 people.
Yeah. That's not like, and that's mostly like the RX Plus group.
That's right. And then the games, we'll get 5 to 10 people that would go to Madison. I think 0 are going to go to Albany.
Yeah.
It's too far. It's too big.
Coast to coast.
For Fort Worth, we had nobody go.
Just you.
Just me.
Yeah, just you.
Yeah, nobody go because that's again.
Didn't Matt?
So
Nick, they
he
wanted
wanted to. Matt was going to go, but you know what's interesting is so that's right there. I think is the change portion that we talked about. If you keep changing the venue, it makes it harder to go to these places. Unless you make it some wildly easy destination that is also fun, where it becomes a destination vacation almost.
I mean, that's kind of what it is. It's got to be set up as a vacation. You know, if you're going to go,
it does. For most people, because the
least.
amount of costs and everything else of what they're going to do. But there's got to be other stuff there. It has to be a location where there's stuff to do outside of. And I think that's why LA had some appeal,
or San Diego, or
San Diego.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, and you know that's the struggle. Madison was, after a few years, people realized, oh, that's a cool place to go to.
Wasn't the easiest to get to.
It wasn't easy to get to, but
out.
it was beautiful there with the RV park and everything else.
Yeah.
It turned into a really cool spot because they stayed there for a lot of years. Oh, would you travel to Europe, Jake?
No.
That's a hard.
Yeah, that's a lot. No, that would be. I mean, I have 2 little kids right now, right? I got an almost 3-year-old and an 8-month-old, so that's like just we're trying to get to the next.
What if it was like in 10 years from now? Would you travel to Europe?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, like I said, that's a lot of money to get there too.
I think though that for CrossFit it becomes one of the demographic things. Like if there's a large amount of people in a metropolitan area, what's great about doing it in Europe is there's a lot of people in a smaller geographic region that can get to it easily. Like, and within an hour away is probably several million people.
Yeah,
probably tens of millions of people within an hour of everywhere. So whether you're in, whether you go to Frankfurt, you go to Paris, you go to somewhere in UK, you're going to get just a lot of people that are closer. It'd be interesting to see.
I mean, I think you're right. It has to be somewhere where it's like more of a destination, not just to go and watch people work out, which there's that. We enjoy that. But if you're going to try to, rally other parts of your family that maybe don't care, it's like, well, hey, we're going to go here and there's all this other stuff going on. You can kind of piggyback a vacation into it. I think that's got to be something that needs to be done.
I'll tell you, and admittedly, I'm a last heat guy.
Yeah.
Like late in the day.
You're lucky if you show up for that.
He's sat next to me before.
Yeah, I've looked over at your seat and seen it empty and been like, how the hell is he missing this?
Because I've seen a lot of fitness in my life, bro.
That's fair.
If that workout's not looking like it's going to be a fun one to watch,
it's hard. That's there's some formulas for creating a successful sport. I wish those guys at WP, I'm hopeful that they help grow and expand the sport, but I don't have a lot of hope for them. Just based upon my experience with the Gridley, where we spent a ton of money. It was sexy as hell. It was fun to be at.
Trying to go big too fast.
Well, and the audience for functional fitness is limited to CrossFit, and that audience for watching fitness is declining. Our business is growing. Lots of affiliates I know are growing. I think the popularity of CrossFit is fine in terms of fitness as a methodology for mental and physical health. But the CrossFit as a sport, that crew has come, and some of them have gone. Right, that's the 2003 to 2015 people that joined.
Unless there was a way to try to get more involvement from other people. Like, for example, let's imagine like this Community Cup continues on, and you have more local events pop up that are using those rankings, so that way you've got more people competing against a more consistent level, like a playing field. Like the playing field is more consistent, and you get more people to buy into it as a participant, and then they get a chance to watch the pros go at it. And depending on what the whether it's going to it or whether it's streaming it, just having more eyes on the games, you need to have more people doing it in a competitive environment to actually appreciate it.
So Jamie basically just went all the way around the block talking about High Rocks without saying High Rocks.
I did not. I'm talking about the Community Cup offering an opportunity for more people to run local events where get more people to do it.
Okay.
To do CrossFit.
That's good.
So
hey, do you got to go? It's 4 minutes after, 5 minutes on.
I'm all right for another 5 minutes.
Okay.
Here's two ideas, slight rebuttals, but you guys talk about making it a destination, but think about I don't know, like Woodstock, like what's the big thing in the desert in the middle of nowhere?
Burning Man,
stuff like that. Yeah. Those things happen in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're going to pull people and you're going to make people raving fans, it'll happen regardless of where you are.
That is a good point.
Two, if you're working on athletes, I think we're in trouble because we're going to be too busy at home measuring our food and hitting our perfect workout for us or something like that. Right. There's got to be a little bit of appeal. Not everybody who goes to NASCAR drives a car fast or, anything like that. I think just working on the user experience, making it a fun festival party / Craig, I talked to you about just having a whole area for people to work out in. That's like super simple. It's a 20-minute AMRAP each day. And you maybe even uses the equipment from the day before that they used that the games athletes used on the floor. Right now, Syndicate Crown actually has something like that going on, but it could be a revenue driver. And then all the people who are fitness addicts can get that workout in that they so desperately want to get. And they're like, I don't want to go up on Saturday because then I got to skip Saturday class and I got to miss my workout.
Yeah. Throw it all in together.
Yeah.
That was the allure of Aromas. It was more about going down there for the experience. It was that's
even Carson.
That's a really good point. Yeah, Carson was like that.
Yeah, you had like the barbells for boobs, heats all day long, where you can do race.
Dude, the affiliate tent area was good down in Carson, down there on the field. That was fun.
It's the Mecca.
Yeah,
but the only problem is with the Mecca is it's like the most expensive Mecca on earth. So
yeah,
that's why if they would have stayed at Madison, I think it would have been. It could have become something new.
Yeah,
that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Okay. Community Cup is the 9th through the 15th. You can go on if you're an affiliate owner, go on the CrossFit affiliate toolkit page, and there's a bunch of stuff there to help you run it. We're going to program it into class. I think the workouts might be released as soon as tomorrow for everybody, which I think would be great. The sooner the better.
Yeah.
So that's a rumor at this point. Look for those and then program it into class and get everybody signed up and doing it. Let's try and make this a regular event that helps benefit the affiliates and benefits CrossFit.
Let's show CrossFit that we actually want this.
Yeah.
They gave it to us. Let's follow through with it.
All right. Fine. Right on. Jake, thanks for being on, dude. We'll do it again.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
buddy.
Man. Thanks
all right, go give those earphones back.
Yeah. I'll see you guys.
Till next time.
Bye.
Nice job.